Okay. Two things are converging here. First of all, we have Lucifer, and he is the great, most powerful being God ever created. He is the most intelligent, most powerful being God ever created in the whole universe, and still is, and he's alive right now. So the most powerful and the most intelligent creature God ever made is still with us. Only he's no longer Lucifer. He's become Satan. And I told you, you can read all about his origin in Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28. But now we get to see his angels. The fallen angels of Lucifer are demons, and they're the real aliens. They're the evil spirit beings that tried to corrupt the human race. Remember way back in Genesis, and Jude talks about them, and Peter talks about them. They are part of Satan's forces. Others have been so vile, they've been held back until now in chapter 9. And these spirit beings are filled with hatred for God and humanity. And we're going to meet them. Okay, so number one. Now we're back to my journal. I mean, this is a really interesting thing to do. If any of you choose chapter 9 for your devotional write-up, it's going to be interesting what you find. Number one, I wrote, God's super angels are the most powerful creatures in the universe. We meet them here in chapter 9. And we find out where they are. It says this angel comes down with a key to the bottomless pit, verse 2, and smoke arises, and when he opens the pit, out come these creatures. I wrote, God has a maximum security, cosmic being, real alien prison. And Satan most likely is a star that God allows to open the pit. And this abyss, abussos is the Greek word, is 7 times mentioned as the prison of the worst demonic creatures. It's here in chapter 9, verses 1, 2, and 11. It's in chapter 11, verse 7, chapter 17, verse 8, chapter 21 and 3. Luke talks about it, Luke 8. Remember when Jesus released the demons, they said, don't send us to the prison. And Jesus said, okay, you can go in the pigs, and they go. 2 Peter 2:4 talks about them. Jude 1, verses 6 and 7 describe them. What are they? Well, remember, they're a part of all the angels. And so I think we need a little angelology. God has created these super angels, the most powerful creatures in the universe, and the ones who are fallen are these malignant ones. But all angels are the real and only aliens that are out there in space. Our world is fixated on these extraterrestrials, and they want contact with them. Did you know a new radio telescope is now beaming the location and the invitation to come visit the Earth out into space? I mean, America, we're paying for that with our tax dollars. Come to us, aliens. Come to us, extraterrestrials. They arrive in chapter 9, visibly. Now, where did they come from? Let's just do it. This is angelology. If you look in your systematic theology, there's one whole section of systematic theology that's called angelology, where these came from. God created all the angels, okay? 2/3 of them obey and serve God. But in Revelation 12, we're going to find out another event happened. 1/3 of them rebelled in the past. And so when Satan, in Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28, when Satan, remember he was Lucifer, the covering cherub, actually he was the worship leader of heaven. Ezekiel tells us he was involved with music. Whoa, probably still is, because music is so powerful a medium. That's why it's very useful and very dangerous. But Satan was the covering cherub over the throne of God, and he's up there inhaling all, and reflecting back the glory. And Isaiah tells us that in his mind he said, wow, I want to be like the Most High God. Now that shows us inspiration. If a human wrote Isaiah 14 about the fall of Satan, they would have said, I want to be greater than God. Lucifer knew you couldn't be greater than God. He knew he was created by a creator. And only God is self-sufficient and able to create things. So he said, I just want to be like him. And that's when he fell. You know that. That's what is going on in Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28. But of the 1/3 that rebelled, some are in prison right now. That's the ones we're looking at. But by the way, most of them are not. They're very busy. And they're very active. Do you remember in Christ's ministry, there were just demons just everywhere. They were screeching. Everyone that could howl and distract and cause a big scene was doing it. They were trying to distract people from listening to Jesus. They were throwing people in the fire and trying to drown them and making them cut themselves. Do you remember all the demon stories? I mean, the Gospels are just demons overflowing.